We all love Christmas, don't we? And we all love this story. But this story doesn't stand alone. It's just one part of a much bigger story. The story starts way back to where our readings from this evening began, in the Garden of Eden. The story starts with a promise from Genesis chapter 3. The Lord God said to the serpent, I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your seed and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel. This story isn't just a nice story about the birth of a baby. This story is the unwrapping of the greatest gift, of a long-held promise. A promise about the defeat of evil, the defeat and the end of a character called the serpent, who is later revealed in the Bible as the Satan, the devil, the accuser, the enemy, one who seeks to bring darkness, destruction, and the depression of hope. This story is about the promise to end that darkness, that destruction, and the depression of hope for all of us. It's a promise that takes thousands of years to be fulfilled. That's a long time to wait for a promise, but there's a reason. You see, it starts with something something as small as a seed. And then, throughout the Bible, more and more of the promise is revealed. The seed will be a man who will be a shepherd and a king. A man because we can know him. A shepherd because he will guide, care, and feed us. A king because he will reign, and his reign will be one of peace, security, hope, joy, love, and life. It's a promise that takes a long time, because over time we get a growing sense of what to look for, of what to expect. In this day and age, promises are made quickly and are broken in even less time. In this day and age, promises don't seem to mean much anymore. In this age, promises are fleeting. But here, in this story, in this nativity scene, is a promise that took thousands of years to come about, thousands of years to build, so it was something that would last and would not fade, something worth waiting for. And 2,000 years later, this story still offers the promise of hope, love, and joy that it did all that time ago. Today, this story is still turning lives around, still defeating darkness, still bringing hope, life, and freedom to many. In this scene is the offer of a promise that is tangible, that is real, and that is connectable. This story of the birth of Jesus is the promise that everything can be different. Not one day, not if you can reach it, but now in this life, because he has come to us. This is the story of Emmanuel, which means God with us, God as one of us, God among us and for us. Every gift we unwrap this season is a promise. Underneath the paper is the promise of happiness, the promise of fun, the promise of joy, the promise of entertainment or satisfaction. But how many of us have long forgotten and moved on from the unwrapped promises of years gone by? This promise, found in Jesus, is told every single year, because this promise has not gone away, it has not faded, it has not run out of batteries. This Jesus still loves you and is still the King who is fighting for your freedom, and the shepherd who is guiding and leading you to light. This Jesus is still the promise of hope for you today. This promise has been held on to for thousands of years, and this promise will last for thousands more. This story is a promise that is worth unwrapping, that is worth making part of your life and holding on to, so that your life becomes one that is full of promise, full of hope, full of peace, and full of joy. This is the promise of a God who loves you, Jesus. Today, let that seed of promise be planted in your life and see the fruit it bears.